As far as sweet spots and long descriptions go, the sports luxury sedan has to be one of the most satisfying. Here you have a blend of speed, enjoyable handling, and of course, luxury. And all this is offered just in the realm of affordability. This brings us to the Audi S4. With a supercharged V6 and that refined styling, it does everything well. In fact, in a head-to-head last year, we chose it over the BMW 335i, its closest competitor. We're looking at it now because 1, the 2013 model received an update, and 2, I want to examine how this segment so desirably blends performance and luxury. Only subtle styling changes differentiate this car from the A4. The bumpers look slightly more aggressive. There are more exhaust pipes. The wheels are bigger. And of course, there are those suspicious V6T badges. Overall, the car has a quiet, refined, aggressive look to it. Launching this car is very simple. You just have to hit a few buttons. Drive select is one of them. We're going to put it in dynamic. Then we're going to turn traction control off because we're at the test track, and why not? Transmission's already in sport mode. Then what you do is you hit all the pedals. The engine's going to settle at about 3,200 RPM. Then you release the brake. Gets out of the hole very quickly. It's using its all-wheel drive system well for acceleration runs. 0 to 60 takes 4.4 seconds. And you don't even have to shift. You just hold on. Quarter mile takes 13 seconds, which you pass at 105 miles an hour. And for our 60 to 0 brake test, our best stop took 107 feet. So now we begin the figure 8 test with the S4. I have it in manual mode instead of automatic because I like controlling the gears myself. This car has the sport differential in it, which should help rotate the car nicely on power, which it did right there. Typically these cars don't do much on turning. You drive them too hard, they just sort of understeer. I'm sensing a bit of roll too, but once you're on throttle, once you start giving it power, you can feel that differential working, and it really helps this car get around corners. There's that understeer, but yeah, you can balance this car actually nicely with the throttle. Again, it's not giving me that downshift that I am asking for. Like, there we go. Oh, understeer, understeer, understeer. Okay, now we can add throttle. Now it's going to rotate. Fortunately, there's multiple parts of the corner. The first part, this entry part, is not that fun in the S4 because it's just understeer. It's interesting because it requires you to be patient and then be aggressive. Patient, 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 then aggressive, then aggressive. Okay, now we can come out of the corner. Okay. Driving S4, you get a sense of not sports car qualities, but muted sports car qualities. This car isn't amazing at 10/10ths, but it shouldn't be. It's a luxury car, or a sports luxury car. So you get these hints of sportiness. The exhaust note, for example, it's pretty quiet around town, but once you dip into the revs, let's see if we can downshift into second here, you get this nice induction note into the cabin. Now on every upshift, when you're at wide open throttle, you get this sort of backfire fart sounding thing through the exhaust that sounds pretty cool. And those qualities, those traits, give it that sort of sporty feeling, especially when you couple it with how the rear differential works, and especially when you have a tunnel ahead. Now I bring up that muted sports car feel because this car isn't about pure sports, and it's not about pure luxury. It's about mixing those two and how cleanly you can do it. And I think this car does it really, really well. It's refined and luxurious and comfortable when you want it to be. I especially like these bucket seats because they're leather, they're supple. But at the same time, they also have really nice side bolstering that fits me really well. I don't flop around in the seat. So again, that's one thing that's luxurious and yet sporty. I will say though, on this road, which isn't the smoothest, I'm getting a surprising amount of impacts through some of the bigger cracks. I wouldn't suspect. But if that's the trade-off to get this car's behavior mid-corner, I'll take that. We have Audi Drive Select, which allows the driver to tailor the throttle, the transmission, and the suspension to comfort or dynamic modes, which generally mean too soft or too stiff. I'm not a big fan of these individual settings. I kind of want a car just to work with one setting and let that be it. Because it tends to be, okay, I want to go fast, I'm going to put everything in dynamic mode. Oh wait, now my steering's way too stiff and my ride sucks. But I still want the quick throttle response. Okay, now I got to go in and custom tailor all this stuff. And you can do the presets, but generally I find that the longer I drive a car that has all these presets in it, the less I use them. I just leave it in one setting and drive it that way because I just want to enjoy the experience of driving. I don't want to have to fiddle with all these buttons and knobs and switches before I feel like I can actually have any fun. Case in point, I actually don't know what mode I'm driving this in because I don't want to know. Let's see. We're in dynamic. Let's go to auto. That works. Now, if I seem a little unenthusiastic, it's because I am. It's hard to be enthusiastic about a luxury sedan that's nice to drive. But that's really the strength of these cars. They're not a car that's going to set your hair on fire with speed and performance. It's simply nice, simply a nice thing to drive no matter the situation. The S4 is a very effective car, but not a very emotional one. It's almost like a piece of nicely tailored clothing you wear to work. It's respectable, good-looking, fits well, but it doesn't cause too much of a stir. You put it away when you're done with it, and you don't think about it again until you have to use it. You might argue that this is the Camry for the car enthusiast, but that's not a complaint. Think about it. There's something to be respected about terribly effective cars, and how difficult it is to take a broad spectrum of utility, speed, and luxury and bake it in so well. But that's what makes the S4 the distinguished sports luxury sedan.
Whenever Cyrus sends me an email, I read it in his voice.
Yeah, I know.
It's really funny. If he's editing,
nothing phases him.
I love it. It's great.
I try to phase him all the time, and
Really?
he's like, "Yeah, man. Okay, no problem." It's like that's what I love about you.
It's refreshing, man. If he sees this, you rock, Cyrus. If he doesn't see this, I hate that Cyrus.
I hate that Cyrus guy
so much.